Okay, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. So, David Benavidez versus David Morrell on the weekend. Great fight. What a great fight. That was a fight that America needed. Seeing all the negative news when it comes to boxing over there in the United States. The PBC needed a big fight like this, and it seems like a lot of the American public showed up, and a lot of them showed a lot of interest in this fight because David Benavidez seems to be the last hope over there in America, United States. We got Terence Crawford. He will be taking on Canelo Alvarez in September. That fight seems like it's been finalized. We'd rather have seen Benavidez versus Canelo, but Canelo doesn't have the balls to face someone who is more than his equal. So he wants to, take on lesser opponents like the Show guy for a mandatory. The fans revolted and said, we're not going to have that. So Terence Crawford seems to be the man that's going to take on Canelo. And it seems like they both will have an interim fight before that. So Canelo and Crawford will have a fight in between before September, before the big showdown. So Benavidez, let's talk about Benavidez and Morrell, right? These two guys will campaign at 168. Canelo, again, refused to fight these guys. So they ended up having to move up to 175. Now, I listened to a boxing show live stream a few days ago, and they were talking about Canelo being the best at 168. I totally disagree. I mean, if there's two guys who have to fight each other at 175 because the champion at 168 doesn't want to give him a shot, you can't call that champion the best at 168. Not only that, Bivol firmly gave Canelo a beating at 175, and then in the rematch, Bivol asked to go down to 168 to fight Canelo for his belts because it's only fair that Canelo, if you want a rematch of me, you put your belts on the line, okay? Canelo didn't want no part of that. He's starting to understand the mentality of this guy, right? So anyway, look, David Benavidez, I believe outside of Terence Crawford, who is obviously the top 3 pound for pound fighter in the world, you've got David Benavidez, and I think he's getting his shine now, right? You gotta remember, Canelo is Mexican, so Benavidez is more a naturalized American. He's an American citizen, probably born in the US as well. Even though he calls himself the Mexican monster, he's trying to tap into that Mexican fan base. Why not? Why not? But his fight with Morrell has just risen the stock of both guys. Right, so now Turki Al-Sheikh wants to bring David Benavidez over to the Beterbiev versus Bivol fight, and if Beterbiev gets another win over Bivol, the fight will be made Beterbiev versus Benavidez. The fight needs to be made quickly though, because Beterbiev is no spring chicken. He's getting old. Okay, so if Beterbiev gets another win over Bivol, that will be a fight between Benavidez and Artur Beterbiev. Right, so look. David Morrell's become a new player at 175. The 175 division is becoming very exclusive at the moment, right? We've got a lot of UK fighters over at 175, i.e. Joshua Buatsi, Willie Hutchinson, Craig Richards, who's slightly a bit of a journeyman, but no disrespect to him. He's a good fighter. I respect him. And also we've got Anthony Yard, right? Anthony Yard will be fighting Lyndon Arthur. Lyndon Arthur, also another player at 175. So the 175 division is starting to heat up at the moment. A lot of people are calling out Anthony Yard and saying, what is he doing next? He's starting to A-side some of these fighters as well. He tried to A-side Joshua Buatsi. A lot of people felt like he's not the A-side over Buatsi. How could he be the A-side when he's had 2 title shots and lost both of them? So look, there's some interesting fights at 175. All right, let's bring in the likes of David Morrell. How about Morrell versus Yard? David Morrell could fight Yard. Yard wants to build his profile. Get in there with someone like David Morrell and try and get a win off David Morrell. There are plenty fights out here. I believe this: Joshua Buatsi, Yard, Hutchinson. These guys need to get a move on quick, because Morrell and Benavidez have stepped into this division and it looks like they'll probably want to take over. So they need to do something about this quickly and react to this, because if they don't get a move on, they won't be getting their title shots. They'll have to face some of these guys. And Morrell looks pretty hot. He looks pretty good, even though Benavidez beat him. He still looked good himself. All right, there's a few little things he needs to iron out, but I'm sure he'll get better. And when he gets better, it spells trouble for these guys. But anyway, do us a favor, smash the like button, hit that bell for notifications to get all the new and the latest videos.